Welcome everybody to the second episode of Anubhava Insights. Today with me, I have the second runners-up of the prestigious Flipkart GRID 5.0 Hackathon, which saw over 470,000 participants from all over the country. Today with me, I have the team, Nitheezkant, Brij and Yukta. So before I dive right into the questions, I would like you all to introduce yourselves for the sake of our audience once.
So I'm Brij, a third-year computer science student here at IIIT Bangalore.
Right, so I'm Yukta. I'm currently enrolled in the I'm Tech program, third-year student, CSE branch.
I'm Nitheezkant. I'm from Electronics and Communication IM Tech in IIIT Bangalore.
So before I ask any further questions, can you please describe us what was the product that you made for this hackathon?
Yeah, so we had like multiple rounds. In the first round, we had to clear a DSA round. So after we cleared the DSA round, we were given the actual problem statement. So in the problem statement, we had to, we actually chose a problem statement where we had to build a drug efficacy predictor, so drug quality predictor. So basically, you while manufacturing a drug, it goes through like several processes, and at each stage of production, there are hard limits set on the quality parameters of the drug. So the thing is, if it falls out of this hard limit, then the batch is discarded. So this creates a lot of wastage and it increases the production cost. So we built like an ML model which can predict the quality of the final drug during intermediate and starting stages of production of the drug, so that the wastage batches can be reduced and eliminated.
Okay. So now let's go back in time, that is months before the competition, in the build up to the competition. How did you all meet each other to form this team, and what is the inspiration behind this idea of this product?
Okay, so I guess we all met in first year. We've been friends since first year, and I think we started giving hackathons within first year itself, like few within college and outside as well. So we've been in the same team for quite a while. So when this opportunity rolled around, I think right in the beginning of second year, we're like, okay, it's a new hackathon, might as well just give it a shot. But this was the beginning of second year, and when we had given the first initial round, which is that MCQ DSE round, we didn't clear it. So again, this year at the start of third year, again it rolled around. Okay, we were like, let's just go ahead and same team again, and this time we end up qualifying to the second round. So that's how it is.
So now, can you tell us what individual role did all of you play in making of this product? Starting with Nitheezkant.
So me and him, we took care of the machine learning part. So when we started out with this project, we didn't know anything about machine learning. He knew a bit, like more than me. So first thing, what we started watching videos and YouTube videos about what machine learning is and stuff. So that was like our job, and she took care of the front end of the
like
whole
for the
application.
final, when we had to go there, we had to present like some working product, or like, for the aesthetic and our final presentation. So just to display all our work as a more presentable thing, just adding some front end basic things.
And also, this was like the beginning of our third year. So like none of us had a formal course in machine learning.
Yeah.
So like we had just like learned it over in the summer, and then eventually learned it through the hackathon and everything. So yeah, the course was going on side by side.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Unfortunately, life is not a smooth ride, but rather a roller coaster. With that kept in mind, can you tell us some of the hardships or the problems you faced while making this product, and how you were able to overcome them?
They gave 3 problem statements to choose from, and all were like very open-ended. Like you could infer a lot of things from those problem statements. So there was no a single thing to do. Like everybody didn't approach the problem in the same way. They basically described real world problems, and they didn't exactly demand what they want. So it is so we had to put a considerable amount of effort to even comprehend what is the problem statement and what we want to build, and how do we tackle the problem. And also the problems were not like something that's very generic. It was it was specific, but at the same time the solutions were open-ended.
So like I said, none of us really knew machine learning at the starting of the hackathon. So in the time that we were given, we were like learning it side by side, as well as brainstorming about our idea and like what we actually wanted to build. So by first we came up with a prototype. It took us like 1.5 weeks. So we came up with this idea, but we weren't really proud of it. So we finished the slides also. So we had to submit a slide deck also. So we finished everything. We were almost going to submit, but then after that we're like, you know what, like we're not really satisfied with this. So we did some more research and then we came up with another idea, and we scrapped the previous thing entirely, and then in the 3 days we built our next solution, which went ahead and like
Performed well.
You got excited. Yeah.
And like the problem statements were all like research based, so you had to read a lot of papers and you have to go through the other ones, and not just in the technical domain.
Yeah.
Like in our case, we had to read a lot of medical papers, which didn't have a pinch of technology also. It's like dry medical papers. So we had to understand that side as well. Just for context, the other two problem statements were also in the medical side because it was a health track. But the other problem statement was blockchain oriented, and another one was quantum computing oriented. So we chose the machine learning one. Yeah. So everywhere we had to read papers. So that's what, when we in middle we came across a few papers that took us in a different direction, and then we changed the idea and we betted on a new idea at the last minute.
So then, like, how would you describe the nature of this competition? Like the hype around it, the competition. Like it's a nationwide hackathon with 470,000 students, and like you said, like there were various domains like health and blockchain, etc. So how would you describe the nature, like the participants, the judges, the atmosphere, the hype?
Right. So,
first of all, it's Flipkart does this hackathon to boost its off-campus placement drive. So if you are in the finalists, you get a direct interview for the summer intern or full-time, like depends on your
Performance.
Yeah, okay.
graduation.
on your graduation year. So that in itself would like entail a lot of competition from like students across the country. So
Yeah, and even I think when we went there, when they did the in-person finale, like there were different tracks. I think there was health, what is it, tech, IT,
there was a cyber
security,
tech,
like security, IT, and then what was it?
The software development.
Yeah, I think
track?
software. I think there were 3 tracks. So basically, again, I think they selected 10 teams from each track.
For the
And
finals.
yeah, and they were like majority of them were from top colleges across the country. And like I think like what he mentioned previously, like every problem statement did have its own version of hardness. Like either you required really like a lot of domain knowledge, or like nothing was very straightforward. So I guess overall, despite whatever track it was, each problem statement did have its it wasn't easy basically. And when we saw like what other teams had presented and all, they were pretty innovative and pretty like great as well. So I guess
Yeah.
there was a lot of diversity, and like you could see.
And also the competition nature was like almost all the teams were from final year. Almost all the teams were from final year, because this is a hackathon that people give for recruitment, as he said.
Big motivator.
As soon as the hackathon was over, all the finalists in each track, there were total 30 finalists. So all the 30 finalists were given a direct interview offer to Flipkart. We will be getting that interview this year because we were the odd one out, where we were not the final year students.
So as you pointed out that you were probably the youngest team that was participating in the hackathon, can you describe to me that ecstatic feeling and the sense of relief that all these months of preparation finally paid off when they declared you as second runner-up?
Right. So initially for each track there was just a winner and like a runner-up. So but for our track, I guess they actually had to introduce a second runner-up position as well, because they couldn't really decide between second or third. So we got a position that was exclusively introduced for our work, which I guess it was unexpected, but I guess it was a great feeling.
Yeah, the competition was also very high there, and we were also like, we had to give a 10-minute presentation there at Flipkart headquarters. So when we gave the presentation, everybody's presentation were like good. Like we couldn't, because it's obviously the top 10 from lakhs of teams. So it was good. So we were like a bit scared, but then they actually introduced a new prize to get the second runner-up.
Yeah.
Okay. So now keeping the very first hackathons you would have ever participated in. So with that in mind, how would you compare yourself at that point of time to where you are now? Like your mindset, how you tackle problems, how you are able to think of solutions or to the various questions that are asked in the hackathon. Like how would you compare yourself with back then?
I think the mindset is same. When we gave the first only, it's just a skill issue. We actually gave the same hackathon 1 year back in second
But
year. We couldn't qualify the first round
round
itself.
itself. So I guess ever since then, I think we worked on our individual DSA problem solving skills and we were able to clear it 1 year later. So I guess mainly like perseverance and like consistency, like two things I'd say that if you ask me personally, you know what like comparison between now and my first hackathon. So I guess really never stop learning, never stop upskilling yourself because I guess, like learning never ends and it's always better to, keep in touch and learn new things.
Also, so hackathons usually have a very like strict time constraint. So I guess like as you give more and more hackathons, you learn how to manage your time also better. So we had to learn on the side, we had to brainstorm, we had to do a lot of things like together so as to not waste time. So I think that just comes with experience. So like that's why it's just more important like to give as many hackathons as you can.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You're a huge source of inspiration for like many young students at Triple IT Bangalore, and as I'm sure even to the viewers who are watching this for the first time. Now, with that in mind, I'd like to ask you a question. Do you think there is a right time to start hackathons, or like what do you think are the basic requirements or skill set that an individual should have in order to participate in hackathons and take on such big hackathons as the ones you did?
I mean, big hackathons, yeah, maybe you can wait a little, but you have to give hackathons at the first year itself. I feel like you can, like, hackathons are to learn. So you will learn side by side. You don't need a skill set to begin with. And big hackathons also you can give, you'll get an experience. Like, we gave it in second year, but then, yeah, so, like, you can give, you should keep giving even if you don't feel like you are expert in a particular domain. You don't need to be. It's to learn in that domain. But if you are an expert in the domain, you will easily win the hackathon. That's
Yeah, so I'd like to add by saying, so the first step itself is like, signing up for the hackathon, right? Like, so I know it's very intimidating sometimes by looking at all the problem statements, looking at the domains and stuff. Like even we don't have a medical background enough, so we had to go and, read about all these biology and medical terms, right? So I guess even if you like one way to look at it is even if you're not going to end up winning, you're definitely going to learn something at the end of it by participating, right? You're never going to lose out on something. You always have something to gain by participating. So then that's what we've been doing from first year. Like we just started with basic HTML CSS. We had literally learned, I think we sat and learned for 3-4 days basic HTML CSS, built our first full stack and just went ahead. We didn't win the first hackathon, but that's fine because from there we went on to learn like better technologies and better skills that help you later. So I guess first step is just going and giving, right? Don't be scared or don't be intimidated by other teams or even like, oh, what you expect to know. So just go
Also,
ahead.
what I've seen is a lot of people don't even sign up for hackathons because they feel that they don't know, like they don't have the skills or the tech stack required or anything. So I think that shouldn't like be stopping you. Like first of all, like even if you don't win the hackathon, you're gonna learn a lot. So personally, I think most of the learning that I have had is through hackathons itself. So yeah, if you don't know what the skill or the tech stack is, you will learn it through the hackathon itself. So that shouldn't be stopping you from registering.
So now, before wrapping up, my last question to you all is: what are your future plans? Like, what do you see doing in the future? And if you have any signing off comments.
So I haven't really thought about it, but as far as hackathons go, yeah, I do plan to give a few more.
Well, I'm currently just trying to finish the coursework and maybe work on some personal smaller projects during the summer. And yeah, I guess that's it. One thing I just like to say is like, again, go ahead and participate. Don't be afraid. Just put yourself out there. You never know what could happen. So yeah.
so I am currently focusing on my research work in the EC domain. Yeah, so I don't plan to actually give more hackathons in the future. Yeah, I plan to continue my research.
So congratulations once again on achieving this huge milestone, and thank you so much for coming here and answering all these questions. I'm sure as you know, you're already a source of inspiration, but I'm quite sure you would have inspired many more people who are watching this podcast right now. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.